Okay, so just a quick follow-up to the last video. Whenever we install themes, then to go ahead and customize them, you just have to go back to Appearance and Themes, and usually there will be a link right here that says Customize. And what this option allows you to do is actually to change the information here, and you will see a live preview on the right hand side. So if we were to change this to and you would see it change here. So let me change it back. And so on. So you can change things like the site title. It may change, it may differ slightly depending on the particular theme, and that's why I said I didn't want to get into a video about theme settings, because it can vary so much depending on the theme that you're using. You see, this particular theme has 3 different sections for a menu. So you could put your menu in the top bar, the header, or the footer, and then it has the options for the static front page. Okay, but we don't want to change any of this. But if we just go back, then another way that you can access the same option is to go to Appearance and then Customize. And you'll be able to do the same. Now, some themes will have some additional options. We close this. That may not be available from that screen. And to access it, usually you would see the name of the theme somewhere along the left hand side, or theme op, or a tab that says theme options. So in this case, this theme, even though it's called Business Canvas, it's from the Chimera themes. That's the name of the developer. So you'll be able to access additional theme options, which you wouldn't have been able to access in the previous page, because, for example, this has a custom home page, and you'd just be able to make changes there. And additionally, sometimes you may find it under the Settings tab. You may find the theme settings directly under the Settings tab under the drop-down menu. So that's just a quick video just to inform you. Oh, and just one more thing. In some themes, once you activate the theme, you will have to go in and adjust your menus, your custom menus, depending on the theme, and to adjust the location of your menu. Okay. Another benefit of using the Page Builder plugin is that if you go to Appearance, and is that now all the widgets that are available within the Page Builder plugin can now be used on your sidebar and your footer areas and all your other widget areas. So essentially, even if you don't use it to build pages, you could just use it to just really customize your widget areas. So for example, if you wanted to add an image or some embed code, such as a video, or if you wanted to add your autoresponder, then you'd have to use this text widget, and then you'd for example, if you wanted to add an image, you'd have to know a bit of HTML, to call on the source and all that. But what you can do now is just use this visual editor widget, drag it into your sidebar, and then you'll be able to create just about any content. Of course, you do have to keep in mind the size of your widget area, because not all types of content would be appropriate for the size of the widget area. But like I said, basically, you don't have to know any code now, because now you could just use the visual editor, add your images, add your text, style your text, add videos, and all these wonderful things. And of course, all the other widgets would be available, such as adding price tables, price boxes, the masonry layout for adding posts, galleries, embedding videos, all these additional widgets. You could just easily, testimonials, just drop them in to your widget area without knowing any code, and just easily customize them. Now we will take a look at widgets, and essentially what widgets are additional areas outside of our main content area, such as on our poster page, and it allows us to put additional content or functionality in these areas. Now, the most popular areas for widgets are the sidebar, so there's recent posts, recent comments, archives. Categories are in fact widgets, and the footer area is another popular area for widgets, and sometimes you can find widgets in our header area, and it really does depend on the theme that you are using, or sometimes a plugin can add additional widget areas. Now, to change this, just go back to our admin area, go to appearance and select widgets, and on the left hand side we will see a list of the available widgets, and on the right hand side you'll see the areas where you can put these widgets. So if you remember, on our main site we had our search function, or recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and metadata. Okay, so this particular theme has 1, 2, 3 areas that we can place widgets: the primary sidebar, content sidebar, and the footer widget area. Now, to add a widget to any of these areas, we can simply drag the widget from the available widget section and drop it in the area where we want the widget to go. And once we do that, we will see some additional options depending on the widget to customize that widget, such as we can add a title, and in this case for the calendar, that's basically all that we can do. And then we would save it, and we can close that. And to just edit the settings of any of these widgets, just simply select this drop down arrow, and of course you see the option to delete the widget, so you can remove the widget from the area. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to delete this widget. I am going to remove the archives widget, the metadata widget, the categories widget, and I want to add a custom menu widget. And the popular widgets will appear here are your archives, your calendar, your custom menu, pages, and they're pretty self-explanatory, and they have a bit of blurb below them to tell you what it's about. And These are default, they come with pretty much every theme that you have, but some themes will have additional widget options, and depending on some of the plugins that you may have installed, you will see additional widgets or options for your widgets. Okay, and like I said, a description will be displayed below these widgets. And another way that you can add a widget, let me just say that, is to click on the widget, because sometimes dragging and dropping the widget into your widget area, for example, let me cancel this. If you had a long list of widgets and you're at the very bottom here, and you have to drag this widget, and you have to scroll up to the top to find, say, this widget area, then it can be sort of a pain. So if you click on the widget, then you will just see an option as to where you can put the widget. So for example, if I wanted to put a custom menu in the footer widget there, then I just hover over it, select it, and then add widget, and the widget would go inside that area, and then I could just go in, select the menu. In this case I only have one menu, so I just save there. And to change the order of your widgets, you can just simply hover over it until you see this icon appear that looks like a cross, and you can just drag and drop, and that's really how easy it is to change around the order of your widgets. And at the very bottom you'll see an area that says inactive widgets. Now widgets will appear here if you put them there for one. So for example, if you have a particular widget that you have configured and you don't want to use it, you can place it in your inactive widget, but you don't necessarily want to delete it because you may want to use it in the future. So you can put it under inactive widgets. Also, sometimes widgets will appear in the inactive widgets area if, for example, you change your theme and the new theme doesn't have a sidebar or widget area similar to the previous theme, and so WordPress doesn't know exactly where to put the widget based on the old configurations into your new theme, so it may just place those widgets in the inactive widgets. So the last thing is just to save, and then we can go over to our site and we can look at the changes. So if we just refresh our site, and you will see that our metadata has been removed, and we have added our custom menu on the left sidebar as well as in the footer area. Now, of course, this doesn't look as nice as I'd want it to, but it's just something for you to test out and drag and drop and chop and change until you're satisfied with how these widgets are displayed on your site. Okay, so in this video I'm going to cover how we can change the theme on our website. And basically themes control the overall look, the appearance of our website, and so the header, the sidebars, the graphics, all these things, the fonts, and some themes add additional functionality to your site, and it's quite easy to change it. So if we go back to our dashboard, and to do this, to change it, we go to appearance and themes, and there are a couple of ways that we can change our theme. Now we select add new, and we basically have some settings here as a search function, And this applies to the WordPress repository. Now, at WordPress.org, there are thousands, literally thousands, of themes that are available for free for you to download. So you can, if you know the name of the theme that you're looking for, or a specific, say if you're looking for a theme that is responsive, you could type that there. And also you can filter out the search results by looking for themes with specific colors, number of columns, layout, features, subject. Okay, so, and you can also go ahead and check the featured themes, and you can look at themes based on the newest themes, or themes that have been recently updated. Okay, so if I'm just going to go to the newest, and all the themes that you will select from this repository are open source, GPL, under a GPL license, so you are free to use them and do basically whatever you want with them. And this is one of the safest places to get themes. Unfortunately, there are people out there who give away free themes with the intention of adding malicious code, viruses, etc. to your site. But all the themes that have been uploaded to the WordPress repository have been checked, and they have to go through a rigorous, set of qualifications before they can get there. So you can feel pretty safe downloading themes from there. So just keep in mind that if you go and say you search in Google and you look for free themes, that you have to be very careful as to who you get these themes from. Just ensure that they're a trusted theme developer, and you're not putting malicious code on your website. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a random theme here just to show you what it would look like, and you'll just get kind of a preview here of what the theme will look like on your site. And you can just select install. And then you have the option to look at a live preview with your current content. And you also have, and this is something that we can look at into more detail. To customize your site, you can just very quickly from here to change some of this information that we saw in our settings, and our navigation. So you could change the menu that you use if you had more than one custom menu, and your static front page, etc. Okay, now we can just activate this theme, and if we go back to our home page and we refresh, then we will see that the look and feel of our site has totally changed. And that's how easy it is to install a theme from the repository. In the next video, I'll show you how you can also install a theme from zip files. And this, of course, is if you purchase a theme, or even if you get a free theme and you download it, then I'll show you how you can do this as well. Something else that's really important when in ensuring that your site is kept safe is to, generally speaking, avoid downloading themes and plugins that are being offered for free that are otherwise premium themes and plugins. I know you may go to Google and you may see, links to sites that, that are offering you free downloads for like I said, plugins and themes that, basically the developers are selling. And you have to be careful. Now, I'm not saying that they're all bad, but one of the reasons that, people do this, and it's not necessarily illegal either, depending on the license for the particular plugin or theme, but one of the reasons that people give away themes, and if you think about it, if it's a paid plugin or a theme, why is this person giving it away for free? And one of the reasons that they do this is to, implant malicious code onto your site. And in some cases, it may be as harmless as hiding a backlink to one of their sites. But it could also be backlinks to sites that, such as porn or sites with illegal downloads that, would not do well for your search engine optimization. So you have to be careful of that. And then it could be as extreme as code that tracks your keystrokes and records your password, and then later on you log in, you try to log into your site and it's been taken over completely by a hacker. So that's something you have to be careful of. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about in terms of, securing your site is that, and you should always keep regular backups of your WordPress site, and that's your database, your files. Keep regular backups. If you use your site pretty regularly in terms of updating content, then you may need to update it as frequently as every day. Usually once a week would be fine for most people, but it really is up to you depending on how often you use your site. Because like I've mentioned a lot of things that you can do to protect your site, but the reality is that there's no foolproof method for any platform, and WordPress is no exception, for persons to hack into your site. If they're determined enough, if they have enough resources, you see sites, some big name sites online get hacked all the time. Government sites, and these sites will have far better security measures than you probably would have on your site, and these sites have been hacked. So a great thing to have is a good backup of your site that you can restore, so that as soon as you find that your site is down, you can get in contact with your hosting company, or just erase all the malicious code, change your password, and then you can install a clean version of your site, but something that's up to date, so that you don't lose a lot of your content that you've worked so hard to create. So in the next video, I'm actually going to look at and show you, there are many ways to do this, many plugins. You can do this through your hosting account, but I'm just going to show you one quick way to do it in the next video.